sunbeam, to cries of "Quitter" from my brother and me, I would dive below to read stories of the great voyages. At the age of 10, I dreamed of the adventure, of Columbus, Magellan, and Drake. Older, I read Dana, Slocum, Morrison, and old logs. I began to understand the struggle and the despair in the simply written ship's journals, in the monochrome prose that could suddenly bloom with feeling. March 29, 1913. Terrible heavy northwest gale. Lost mizzen upper topsail and main lower topgallant sail. Got 2 men hurt. All hands on deck all night. 30th, 6 a.m. Quick shift from northwest to southwest, with hurricane force, with terrible heavy cross sea. Ship under 2 lower topsails and under water. Lost outer jib. Washed off the boom. 31st. Wind southwest, very heavy gale. April 1st. Terrible heavy west-northwest gale, ship under 2 lower topsails and drifting to the eastward, and my heart is broken under these heavy gales all the time. So reads the log of the Edward Sewell, 263 days out from Philadelphia to Honolulu, battering to westward in the grip of the Horn for 67 days. By 15 or 16, soaked in these stories, I'd come to love the water. Everything on it made sense to me. The idea of getting any craft from one point to another was always valid, always an incontrovertible act of truth. When school failed me, when job or even friends or loved ones seemed to fail me, or I them, the water was always there. And so this curious idea formed that somehow I owed the water for its gifts to me, and to repay it I had to go out into it, into the heart of it, and not take from it only in its summertime bounty on Long Island Sound or along the coast of Maine. I had to take all that it would give. I found this for Dan. It's the last word in the lexicon of sailormen. There, nature has arranged trials and tribulations so ingeniously that in the van of all synonyms for sea cruelty and hardship is the iron-bound name of Cape Horn. Winds blow elsewhere at times as strongly as they do south of 50. Seas elsewhere may pyramid as high, break as heavily. There may be places equally remote and as bleakly lonely. Currents in other regions may be as adverse. These foes the sailorman may encounter separately or in pairs here and there, aye, encounter and best. But always in his heart he will wonder if he could face all combined. Warwick C. Tompkins, I said. "Let's go," he said. That's how we began. And before we finished, my son became my captain, though I had to appoint him, and I his crew. What changed? A year after the voyage, my wife, Leonora, asked me who my ideal person was. "You know," she said, "a hero growing up." The faces flickered in front of my eyes. Abraham Lincoln, my father, Judge Brandeis, Lou Gehrig, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Arturo Toscanini, my older brother, my father. "My son," I blurted out, and started to cry.
Chapter 1. The Idea. Indeed, our sufferings, short as has been our passage, about 2 weeks, have been so great that I would advise those bound to the Pacific never to attempt the passage of Cape Horn, if they can get there by any other route. Captain David Porter, USS Essex, March, 1914. Dan. Dad is a romantic. He grew up in a world that seemed open-ended. No one had run a 4-minute mile. He learned that Everest was climbed while he was a student. Standing through the night in the London rain with his roommate, Norman Geschwind, waiting for the Queen of England to pass by on her coronation day. Or so he says. That was on his 23rd birthday, June